Hi, and welcome to the Subcontractors Toolkit. I'm Ricky, and I am going to run you today through how to do a cash flow forecast for your business. So, this template that you can see here in the background, if you want to jump into the comments, there's a link there for you to be able to download this template and use yourself. So, I highly encourage you, after watching this video and understanding how to do them, download the template and implement it for your business so you have a better grasp on where your cash flow is heading and also to help you mitigate any issues. Without further ado, let's jump into it. This is our cash flow forecast template, obviously, and we have it on a weekly basis for a year. So let's run through and populate this and then talk a little bit about the numbers. So firstly, what you want to do is input your balance at the start of the period. So let's say I'm going to plug it up here that we have £50,000 that is in the bank balance at the start of the period before we're doing this cash flow. What that will do is it will make this bottom number here reflect your bank balance when we get the numbers right. So first step is we're going to put the incoming cash in. So incoming cash is obviously going to come from the projects. Here I've got project one. For example, if you are just starting this project at the start of the period, you're obviously going to have probably about 4 weeks worth of work. Then you're going to submit an application, and generally speaking, 30 days later, you're going to get paid. And I'm going to put in there 100K as that first payment for project number one. Now, importantly, this is money that comes into your bank account. So it's not going to include retention. It is also going to include VAT if VAT is applicable. I know most of the times VAT won't be applicable because it will be reverse charged. But if VAT was applicable, we'd be putting the VAT in. It's money that comes into your bank account. So this project as well, we're going to put an application in monthly. So we're going to get paid for 3 months here. The next payment will be in a month's time, and the payment after that will be a month after that. Just as our example. Project two I've got here, this project's already going, so we got 50K coming in for that project. And again, applications going in further and further, and I'll put another one in here as well. And project number three, just finishing, for example, and I'm going to say that we have one payment and it's a half retention release. So it might be 50 grand there, and whatever that might be. So we do have to have an element of forecasting here. Now, we should have a grasp on how much a project incoming is going to be, i.e. if you've got an 800 grand project, it's pretty fair to say that 800K or maybe a little bit more will come in throughout the life of the project, and you should have a grasp on the program. So 800 grand over an 8-week program, it's roughly going to be 100 grand per application, right? Per week. Now, you have to guess, but your best guess will be sufficient. I think the most important thing is that you've got something against what might happen rather than having nothing against it. We are never going to get these perfect. You just have to have your best stab at it. Okay, once we've got the incoming done, let's have a look at the outgoing. So right here, we've got the cash going out for labor, and I'm going to update that because you should have an understanding of your weekly outgoings for labor, and more than likely you pay it weekly and you payroll via subcontractors or direct employees. You should have a grasp of your running weekly total. So we'll put that in. Again, it's what comes out of your bank account. We've also got materials, so I've thrown in here some materials that have come out from the various projects. Again, this is not when you're invoiced, this is when the invoice is paid. So sometimes you can be on invoices for 30 days. So we'll throw that in for when you get paid. We'll put the plan in if applicable, and then we've also got some subcontractor payments here as well. This is it's starting to build our cash flow forecast now, isn't it? Then we're going to actually put in company overheads. So we've got some costs here we've got the example costs, and you might need to beef these out more based on your actual overheads, because every overheads is going to be different per company. So we've got the payments to the directors, we've got the accountant payments in here, we've got a VAT payment, we've got CIS payments, training, staff costs, etc., etc. You need to build that out as per what you pay. So you've got an office manager, you've got construction line, these are all overheads that need to go in, and you're going to put them in for when it gets paid. Let's say we've done that now. These numbers aren't right, but it will show the point of this forecast. It will show the point of this template. So right now, at the start of the period, we have 50K in the bank. It's going to minus 20K. So the movement in the week is shown on this top cell. So we can see that there's 30K that month. There's 17K up that month. There's 19K up that month. Then we're going into negative 34K, negative 64K, back up to 21 with that payment there, back down because of the expenses here, down, and so on. So this is the movement in the week, and this is the cumulative movement, and which should reflect your bank balance if it's right. So when we're looking ahead here, what we can see on this example is our balance is going from about 30K to 50 to 66 to 31, and then it's going negative. We're into negative 33K, negative 11K, negative 39, negative 42 before another payment comes back in, and we're back up to 29K, etc., etc. This is really powerful information and stuff that we need to know. Now, because this is negative, by no means are your projects not profitable. You can have negative cash flow on profitable projects, and in actual fact, most projects for subcontractors will be a little bit cash flow negative, particularly at the start of the project. But with this information, what we can see here is in these weeks, week 5, 6, 7, and 8, for example, we are going to need to find 42 grand to keep the projects going. Now, because we're getting on top of that early, maybe we can put some mitigation in place to deal with that as it is. For example, we might have a 50K overdraft that lets us ride those couple of weeks out. Now, again, by no means does that mean you're not profitable. That's cash flow, and that's cash flow management. What's really powerful about this forecast template is it's letting you look ahead and see where the cash flow is going, and then you can put mitigation in place to deal with it, rather than having those sleepless nights and going, what is happening with my business? This should provide an understanding of what's happening, i.e. we are negative for a little bit before these payments come back in and we're positive again, etc., however it might be. So very powerful tool. Highly encourage you, again, jump in the downloads and grab this template and implement it for your business, and be aware of where your cash flow is going and mitigate it where necessary as well. Okay, thank you for watching. That's it for this lesson. If you want to see more of our videos with genuine practical advice for subcontractors, hit that like and subscribe, and make sure you're notified the next time that we have one of these coming. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.